In the grand scheme of home-built rocketry, the hybrid rocket we just launched counts as a toy. We need to build a grown-up version. Not one that will get us all the way to space, but a stepping stone that will allow us to design and test all the components we need to get there. And when we do that, pretty much all the components are going to remain the same, just bigger. The new rocket is going to be about 10 feet tall. Now, in our new rocket, we had a payload section. The payload section will house cameras to video the flight, an altimeter to record how high the rocket flies, and a computerized flight controller, which will deploy a parachute to bring everything safely back to Earth.
It turns out, getting a parachute to deploy reliably is one of our hardest challenges. I've bought a flight controller online, but hooking it up is going to be work.
I'm testing out our flight controller. What this does is it fires off the explosive charge that releases our parachute and gets our rocket back safely.
If it fails to release the parachute, the rocket will smash into the ground at hundreds of miles an hour.
Hey guys, some of our rocket parts came in.
Oh, cool.
Jeez, that's huge. Well, not only is it huge, but this is just the payload section. So this is our rocket.
Now stand in the corner.
As well as the huge increase in height, the new rocket will be 4 inches in diameter.
Okay. I gotta tell you, you say 4-inch rocket doesn't sound very big, but I guess they didn't say much about the tall.
There's gonna be a fair amount of work to do in the next 2.5 days. It's time to get building. The launch facility is manned by volunteers who all have day jobs. So we have to launch the rocket this weekend. In rocket speak, nitrous oxide is known as an oxidizer. We'll use 4-inch diameter aluminum tube for the oxidizer tank and combustion chamber. Building this rocket requires precision engineering. I'm measuring this part to within a few thousandths of an inch. This is the test that actually matters. This is just a short section, but this is the same material as the oxidizer tube. Yeah, there we go.
Most of the rocket parts are ready. Now we need to assemble everything together.
Trying to set the electronics payload.
Vin and Gaki are getting the flight controller ready to go in the payload section.
Put this on one side of the board. Put this bad boy on the other side of the board. Okay, these guys need to be charged and they need cards.
This attaches onto here.
Okay, that's our guy.
If this rocket works, we will be ready to build an even bigger one. One that will hopefully get all the way to space.
This is as together as it's going to get here, other than, we have to actually take it apart and charge these guys. But I think everything else.
It's installed batteries, it's plugged a few things in, it's yanked this thing out, it's filled with nitrous and pushed a button.
It's gonna be amazing. I mean, this rocket is really big. We expected to get to something on the order of 20,000 feet.
We are attempting to launch our 10-foot tall rocket to 20,000 feet. But launching it is only half the challenge. What we're also testing is the parachute that floats the rocket safely back to Earth. We've never done it before, and it's got to work perfectly. Even though right now we think we've dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's, it's still a total crapshoot as to whether the thing's just going to explode on the launch pad, even with everything else done right. This site is more than a great place to launch rockets. There are a lot of rocketeers here, and one of them, a guy named Jeff Jacob, is helping us today. Good. This rocket is still only a stepping stone to space, so there is a lot to prove with this launch. We need confirmation that the motor flight controller, and camera all work.
No, we've got 2 hours of recording on these guys.
The only way we're going to find out how high the rocket goes is if our delicate electronics survive. And for that, everything has to work perfectly, especially the parachute. If the chute fails, all is lost.
Good luck, guys. Try not to explode. You want to fire this one, or should I?
I'll do it if you want.
Okay.
Okay, ready for the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What happened? That didn't sound good.
The launch was perfect, but something's gone wrong.
Oh, Jesus. Is that our chute already off? We're coming down ballistically, aren't we?
Oh, man. That was bananas.
Are we in the bushes or are we on the property?
I think we're in the bushes and they may be on fire.
Let's go check this out.
This doesn't look good. Seconds after takeoff, the rocket spiraled out of control.
Oh, it's still hissing.
Whoa, look at that burnout. The rocket suffered a catastrophic failure. Heat from the burning PVC and nitrous oxide has burnt a hole in the side of the combustion chamber.
You can see right
There's
there,
some of
it did
it.
its death
We got,
bounce.
this is supposed to tell us how high we got. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we get the broken feet.
Here's one of the cards. Kind of jostled itself loose.
Okay.
This thing's still beeping.
Our rocket is a total wreck.
Is there anything else to pick up while we're at it? Just a bunch of...
The motor burned out before reaching 20,000 feet. The parachute did not deploy, and our cameras and data logging equipment are all in tiny pieces.
Oh, that's kind of depressing, guys.
The people that saw it said that they saw it kind of start to shimmy like this and then just...
A hole like that'll make it shimmy.
So many things can go wrong with rockets, and any one of them is likely to mean game over. We need some help. We're going to see Jeff Jacob, the guy who helped us launch our rocket. Jeff lives, breathes, and sleeps rockets. He's been building them for over a decade.
I think that's what's going to happen. Nobody will need it.
One look at Jeff's place tells me two things. One, we're in the right place, and two, we've got a hell of a lot of work to do.
This could take us a week to make just that part.
Well, I think this might be more than we can pull off.
I have a sample over here of a previously fired motor.
We used PVC as our rocket fuel, but Jeff prefers rubber.
An 8-inch rocket, and it's just basically a rubber. It's no different than the rubber on your car tire.
So once again, we're making rocket fuel out of just something you see every day.
It's cool to see all of Jeff's stuff, and I'm glad he's helping us, but it's not all good news. Even he has never got over 50,000 feet in 10 years of trying. Space begins over 8 times higher than that.
The last one we did was doing Mach 3, 2,100 miles an hour, and then we lost it at about 47 to 49,000 feet, and it's still out there in the desert.
It's time to get real. We found out we're not going into space. It's really far. It's a long way to space, and an amateur rocket from guys like us with our resources and our schedule, it's just not an option. However, if we can get over 50,000 feet, we get into the range where we have a pretty good chance of getting a picture or video of the curvature of the Earth. That is, this sort of sphere that we live on receding off into space. And I'll take that. That would be a great goal, and I'd be really thrilled if we could achieve that. We may not be going to space, but But videoing the curvature of the Earth is still a massive challenge. Only a handful of people have sent rockets this high, so if successful, we'll join an elite group. To video the curvature of the Earth, we need to build a really big rocket. Our new one will be 10 times more powerful than our last one, which failed. It's gonna be a monster.
We're going to turn this aluminum tube, which is 8 inches in diameter, into the oxidizer tank. But first, we have to clean it.
So this is not how you clean your ears?
Not with acetone, no.
Jeff's come to give me a hand making rubber rocket fuel.
As you can see, it's real thick.
We are benefiting from a decade or so of expertise he and his friends have developed, and skipping from our failed test rocket straight to building a Rolls-Royce of amateur rocketry.
I'm picking up notes of yuck.
We are adding black dye, giving the rubber its familiar color, and a kicker to help it set.
We'll have to be really quick. Make sure this gets mixed well and then gets put in our mold soon. Otherwise, it'll turn out to be a kind of gelatinous brick in the bottom of this bucket.
We've made a mold using styrofoam and a party bowl.
It's a little bit worrying. I wish I'd made the holes a little bigger because this stuff is going to cure really fast, and we want to make sure that it fills this whole mold.
This is awesome.
So we're
We're actually making rocket fuel from scratch in our shop.